Hi there, welcome back. My name is CM Manjunath. In this video series, you're learning how to build your own WordPress website. This is for a real business, a local gym here in Bangalore. In the previous video, if you haven't watched it, I will link it up top as well as in the description. Please do check it out. So in that video, we saw how to install WordPress on your website. So the front end looks like this right now. This is how it looks like with WordPress installed on it. In order to go to the dashboard, the WordPress dashboard or the back end, all you need to do is just go to your website's URL, put a / and then type wp-admin. WP stands for WordPress-admin. You're the administrator of this website. So the next thing you'd want to do is click on this thingy, ensure you use your username and password to log in. Okay. So here we are in the dashboard. There are a few updates. Always make sure that your WordPress website is up to date with the plugins, the WordPress itself, and if you have any themes and so on and so forth. Okay. So all these 4 updates are for the themes. I'm not going to care about these. I'm not going to update these because I'm going to delete all of them and use a brand new theme. So I'm not going to do the updates for now, but otherwise on most occasions you'd want to make sure that your WordPress is up to date. All right, so with that out of the way, what I'm going to do is quickly walk you through the settings. This right here on the left side, that's your menu, and to really do any kind of changes, to make any kind of changes on your WordPress website, you got to be familiar with these. Okay, so I'm going to quickly walk you through each one of them, but before I do that, I wanted to also let you know that you can quickly access the front end to see how your website looks like for the users by hovering over here. Take your mouse over here, you could right click, open link in a new window or a tab. So you'll be able to see the front end of your website, and here is the dashboard. So as you make changes, you might want to come here, do a refresh just to take a look. By the way, this dark bar right up here, you see this? That shows that you're logged into your WordPress account. This means you're logged into the WordPress account. But if your user is going to search for your website right now, or if he or she is trying to access your website, guess what? That black bar wouldn't appear for them. Okay, it's only because I'm logged into WordPress that I see this. All right, so let's quickly look at this. Up here is the dashboard. Under dashboard, we have home and updates. When you go to home, you're going to see this little thingy. It's going to give you at a glance view of what's on your website right now. So there is one sample post. You'd be wondering, how did that post come in the first place? We didn't create it. That's right. WordPress gives you a default blog post, a default web page, and a default comment as well, just to see if things work properly. So all that's well and good. All right, so on the left side now, you can move to the update section. We already spoke about updates, but here's a quick view. This is where you're going to get notifications from WordPress telling you if you need to update your themes, if you need to update your plugins and stuff like that. Okay, and try and keep your theme and plugins up to date. That's very important for your website's safety purposes. Remember, WordPress is an open source platform, so you'd want to make sure that your website is up to date. That way, if there are any security updates that have come from WordPress, it can be crucial for your website to operate effectively in a safe manner. Also, sometimes I've noticed if you do not update some of the things, your navigation menu and even the entire layout of your website can seem messed up. So an easy fix is to ensure that your WordPress theme and the plugins are up to date, and you can do that under dashboard. Look at the updates. It's just a matter of selecting and then clicking on update. So in this case, it's a theme that is getting updated. In your case, it could be plugins or whatever needs to be updated. Just make sure that they are up to date. That's very important for you to do that. Now, this might take a couple of seconds. On most occasions, it wouldn't take long. You see, there it is. The updates are now complete. all the themes that I have on the WordPress website is indeed updated, which is good. All right, the next one is posts. So if you hover over post, you're going to see all posts, add new, categories and tags. And if you clicked on all posts, it's going to show you which are the posts that are there on your website. So there's only one post. Remember, this is a sample post that's given to you by default by WordPress. So you might want to just take a look at that. And for whatever reason, you don't want that, you want it deleted, all you need to do is just hover over. You'll get this little menu. It says edit, quick edit, and then trash. Click trash, and guess what? That post will be sent to the recycle bin or trash. Okay, so you can go to trash here, this, and it's going to be listed there. You may choose to restore it or delete it permanently. I'm going to click on delete permanently so that that blog post is gone. So now we do not have any blog posts. All right, so with the posts out of the way, let's take a look at the next option under post, that's add new, or also here. So these are the a couple of ways where you can add new posts. You want to create a new post, you could just click on this add new, and that will take you to the editor where you can start creating your blog post like so. Enter a title, the body, and so on and so forth. So we'll take a look at each one of them in detail later. For now, I'm just walking you through the settings on WordPress. So add new, you can create a new blog post. You may do the same thing by clicking here. It'll take you to the exact same place. If I clicked on add new, it's going to take you to the same interface where you can enter the title of the blog post and update the content. The third option is categories. So each blog post on your website could be categorized, and it's good if you did that. Ideally, every blog post should be bucketed or categorized under different topics. So if this website is about gyms, which it is, then I would be talking about workout plans as a category. There could be diet plans as a category. There could be how much rest you need, and some guides on those things could be another category. So you could have a plethora of categories on your website. It depends on what the niche of your website is. If I'm doing about digital marketing, guess what? My categories could be SEO, website development, Google Ads, web analytics, email marketing, and so on and so forth. So you get the point. Whatever your business is, having categories and creating content that fits into these categories will help organize your content better. And later, when search engines scroll your website and they want to rank your website, these categories and tags will help you. All right. So the next one is tags. Again, tags are these keywords. You can create blog posts, and when you do these blog posts, you might want to focus on specific keywords, and those could be added as tags. And that way, it's an indication both to the user, when a user comes to your website and searches something, the tag, the relevant tag, could probably help them find the content easily, right? That's the goal of a website, to provide useful information in an easy to access manner for your users. But tags can also help search engines when they try to read and understand what your content is about. So make sure you use all of these to make sure that your content is easily discoverable by search engines and human beings alike. Okay. Now, the next thing you look at here is media, and within media you have library and add new. So you can go to library. As the name itself suggests, it's going to be a library of media. This is where you'd have all your images and videos and some documents if need be. You could put your media here. It'll be saved here. That's the media library right there. And if you want to add a picture, as simple as clicking on this add new button, and then you can select a file. And pay attention to this right here. It says 512 MB. That's a maximum upload file. For you, it could be different. Just take a look at that and upload your images accordingly, or videos accordingly. So I'll click on this and I'll randomly pick up something like so. Just a matter of clicking open, and that image will be uploaded to your website. Okay, this is a screenshot of something that I'm currently doing, and you can you see this little delete permanently. If you want to delete this image, you could just click that and click OK. Poof, it's gone. Okay, so that's how media is going to be stored. Media can be added from your device, such as a computer, or if you want to delete that media, you could also click on that delete permanently and that'll be gone. Okay, moving on, we have pages. So we've spoken about posts. Now we are going to talk about pages. You'll be wondering, what's the difference? What's the difference between a page and a post? Now, if you take a look at a website, let's do a website, mediatrainingworldwide.com. This is one of the websites that I built for my client. And usually when I build websites, there are going to be some very important pages. And these pages provide an architecture, a structure to your website. You see, you'll have a home page, and then there is an about page. Then there is services. As you can see, right next to services, there's like an arrow pointing down. And this arrow pointing down represents a drop-down menu. Same with locations. We have a drop-down menu right there. And then there is a blog page, and then contact us. You see, these right here, they are usually called the pages, okay? The home page, the about page, contact us page, services pages, location pages, and blog, okay? These are your pages. So which means the content that is static, usually things like what your business is about, what goes into your home page, who are you, about your company. You see, the content on these pages wouldn't change a lot, would it? They are going to be the same in pretty much most of the cases. In the sense, let's say your company has been in existence for the last 10 years. You wouldn't go back and change the date of when it was created or what's been happening, certifications that you've received. Those are going to be pretty much static. So that kind of content would usually go into the pages. What will go into the posts are dynamic content. Dynamic content include any news, updates, any events that are happening, or tutorials. So for example, under blog, if I go to blog page, I have a bunch of different posts right here. And these posts could be answering questions such as how to improve your presentation skills, how to give a TED talk, 5 things to keep in mind when trying to get sound bites, and so on and so forth. If you notice, these are your tutorials, how-tos, guides, tips, tricks, news articles, updates, all that goes under posts. So just remember that posts is dynamic content, news, updates, events, and so on, tutorials, etc. Pages, on the other hand, is static information about your company, what you offer, what are your products, services, etc. All that goes into the pages. And just like we did earlier, you can go to all pages to see what pages are present already. Luckily, again for us, WordPress gives us a default template for privacy policy, and I highly recommend having a privacy policy regardless of what your website is about. It's important that you do, and you can just edit it and have your own privacy policy page. And in a future video, I'll show you how to create this privacy policy page content as well. And as you can see right now, it's a draft, which means it's not really published. It's not available for the users yet. Then there is a sample page. And again, WordPress has given you a default sample page. If you want to take a look at that, you could right click, open it in a new tab. And this is how the sample page looks like. Right? Very simple indeed. So that's a sample page right there. Then comes comment section. If people have left a comment on your website, you know what? Even before it gets published in the front end, even before other people could see the comments, you will get the comments right here. You may choose to delete it. You may choose to send it to the spam folder, and whatever. If you want to approve it, you could do that. You can even reply to your comments right here within the comments section. Very handy. Now that way you are in control of what comments get published and your users get to see. Then comes the appearance. Appearance is one of the crucial aspects of this entire navigation menu. This is where you'll be adding themes. What's a theme? Well, theme gives you a structure. theme gives you the color combinations that you could potentially use on your website. Okay, so it's super handy. On this video, I'm just walking you through these things. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to install a really good theme for microssfit.com, which is a gym in Bangalore. Okay, so that's appearance and themes. And if you want to customize this theme, and if you want to change the logo, if you want to change the header, you want to change the navigation menu, you could do a ton of customization by clicking customize. So you can click here and you'll get to see the customization options such as site identity. This is where you can change your logo, your site description, the navigation menu, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's all right here. So again, in the next video, I'm going to go through each one of them. Once we install a theme, I'll show you how to customize them as well. Speaking of themes, let me quickly show you what will happen if you did click on themes under appearance. These are the different themes that are already there. By default, what we have is 2021. This is a WordPress theme. Again, they give it for free. The default theme that is there. If you choose to change it, you may do so either by clicking on this plus add new theme right here, or you can also click on this button that says add new. When you do that, there's going to be tons and tons of options. You see there, 4,678 themes are available for you to use. Okay, some really cool stuff. And you may pick the one that makes sense to you for your business, and you can design your website accordingly. All right. The next thing in this list is widgets. You can add or remove widgets also on your website. There are plenty of them, really. You see, you can add to the footer. If you have a sidebar layout on your website, you could add like a calendar, the comments section, the recent blog posts, and so on and so forth. So I'm not a big fan of widgets, but you do have that option for the sidebar, I mean, so you might consider this. The next one is menus. Menus are super important. I told you this right here. This is called the navigation menu. You'd want to make sure that the user who visits your website has a very clear idea about how he or she could navigate to the different parts of your website. It also helps search engines determine what your content is about and how to navigate to different pages as well. Extremely, extremely important this. So you can go to menus and you can add a menu. You can create a new menu and you can start adding pages to the menu, and they will appear right here or wherever you choose to. Okay, so each WordPress theme may have a different style of layout. Some websites could have like a secondary menu right up top and then a primary menu. So this is a primary menu. There could be one secondary menu up top, a footer menu, and so on and so forth. So it's not a standard. It's not like there's only one type of menu. You could create multiple menus, and it also depends on the theme that you install. Okay, so I will show you in a future video how to add pages to the menu and make it look very cool like this. All right, moving on, we have plugins. You see, WordPress is like a plain vanilla website right now, but you can enhance your WordPress website with plugins. So plugins are these kind of widgets, or think of them like your mobile apps. You know what? When you buy a mobile phone, for example, it may not have your handy dandy applications such as WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram. On most mobiles, they come pre-installed, but in some of them, it may not be available. So what do? Well, you go to the Play Store or App Store and then you install those apps, don't you? So just like that, remember, your WordPress website comes as a plain vanilla. What you'd want to do is add some applications to make your website even more interesting, more useful, more exciting. Then you would use plugins. So you can go to plugins, and you'll notice currently I do not have any plugins. I've deleted all of them, or whatever was there pre-installed. I did not like them. I removed them. But if you want to add new, just click on that add new button, and you have tons and tons of plugins. It depends on what it is that you want. So for example, in my case, on my website, I want to rank on Google search results, and that can be done using SEO. right? You should do SEO for your website in order to rank on Google search results. There is this very simple, useful SEO plugin that can make the job a little easier, and it's called Rank Math. So you can go here, just like on a Play Store or App Store, you'd go look for a specific app like WhatsApp. I'm going to go into this text box, the search box, and search for a plugin called Rank Math, like in mathematics. Rank Math, just one word. All right, and you see right here, this is Rank Math. This right now is one of the very popular SEO plugins. Okay, makes your job easier. I'm going to install. Just click on that button that says install, like you would install an app on your phone. It's as simple as that. And then this button would turn into activate. There we go. Click, and boom, we just installed our first plugin called Rank Math. Very useful indeed. How to use this? Another video. We'll talk about how to use Rank Math. Okay, with plugins out of the way, let's look at users. On your WordPress website, you can have multiple users. Right now, if you notice, this is the user ID that I've created, the email for this website. And this username right now has the role of an administrator. Okay, so you can assign different roles. Let's assume that I have a blogging person, somebody who writes content for my website. What I could do is I could click on that add new user like so, and you'll get to this place. And you could say something like, I'll just call this content writer. I could give an email address. Something like that. I would give a name of that person, and if there's a website I could include that, but these are not mandatory. Username and email is mandatory. And then you could generate a password, or you could just type something on those lines, and you see you have the role right here. So this person that you're adding to your website as a user could just be a subscriber. Subscriber is a very basic level, just like any user could become a subscriber. That's what it means. Contributor, somebody who contributes to your website. An author, somebody like content writer. An editor who has a few more tools to play with. Okay, the navigation menu and access will be restricted based on the role that you assign. This one is the least. An administrator has complete access to the website. So you wouldn't give the administrator's role to somebody that you don't really know. But if it's like a co-founder of your business, if it's somebody that you totally trust, then you might consider giving the administrator access. But in most cases, you wouldn't. And for this content writer, I could give the access as an author. Okay, and they will receive an email on this email address, and then they could log in, and they wouldn't have access to things like plugins or changing a theme, etc. They'll have restricted access, like writing a blog post, which is what we expect them to do because they are the authors or content writers on this website. Okay, so users can be handy. Please go ahead, use them accordingly. I'm going to skip the tools part. It's slightly more advanced. That's not applicable for this training. Let's quickly look at settings. Settings can be super useful. Under settings, we have general. Now this is where the title of your website will come into picture right here. Whatever appears in the front end right here comes from the site title. This right here, best gym in Bangalore, is the tagline. So you may choose to use your keyword in here because these tagline may appear in the Google search results. When people search for "Am I CrossFit?" for example, the tagline will appear, the brand name will appear. Okay. Then of course is your WordPress address. One of my students said that even though when she signed up, she signed up with the HTTPS website, she wasn't really getting that. For some reason it was showing HTTP. So you might want to consider doing this. Here you'd want to type your website's URL. If it's HTTP, turn it into HTTPS, both in the website URL right here as well as site address. And once you do that and scroll down and click Save Changes, it'll ask you to log out, or it'll actually log you out of WordPress. You'll have to go to microssfit.com or whatever your website's URL is, /WP admin, WordPress admin. Now once you do that, it's going to ask you to enter your username and password one more time, and the moment you log in, there's a good chance that this would now be HTTPS with a padlock. A padlock ensures or showcases your website as a secure website. Okay, so please do that. If there is a problem with your HTTP version, take a look at this. Under settings, go to general and change this to HTTPS. That could take care of the problem. All right, next I want to also show you reading. Now this is where you can tell your website, you can tell WordPress what needs to be shown right up here. By default, if you think about WordPress, it was designed for blogging purposes. The goal of WordPress was for blogging purposes. So what you see right now is a blog post, which is Hello World. On the other hand, if I wanted to show a specific page, I would choose this and then pick a page from here. Okay, let's say I do the sample page. In your case, it would be your home page or whatever page that you choose to show. And when you do that, sample page will come up there, and your post page could be your blog. Okay, you could have like a blog page. I'll just show you what happens when I click on the save. Right now, I saved it. You see, currently it is the blog post that's showing up on the main microssfit.com, the website. Now when I refresh this or reload this page, it's going to change and it's going to show it still has microssfit.com, but the content on the page, on the main page, the home page, has changed. Now this is a sample page that WordPress gave. We do not see the blog post anymore. That's because under settings, I went to reading and chose a static page, and in the home page, I selected sample page. So that's what's showing up on the front. When people go to microssfit.com, this is what they'll get to see. So that's one way of doing that. All right. Apart from that, another thing you want to pay attention to is the last part right here. If you notice, it says search engine visibility. And there's a checkbox. It says discourage search engines from indexing this site. Now, when you go to Google and search for something such as media training again, you see that website. When I type that the keyword, this website shows up on Google search results. It's showing up on Google search results because the website mediatrainingworldwide.com is actually indexed by Google. It's saved. A copy of the website is pretty much saved on Google's database, and it's able to pull up that and show it to you. When you're building a website, you don't want Google to crawl your website and index and all of that. When your website is ready to launch, it's all designed, you have all the content on it, it's ready for launch, then you want to let Google crawl your website, index your website, and store it on the database. So you would want to check this box. Be very careful though. When your website design is complete, when your website development work is complete, and you're ready to launch, be mindful, diligent about coming back to settings and then reading and ensuring that this is unchecked. Or else Google and other search engines may not crawl your website, which means it's going to affect your website's ranking on Google search results. And that can have adverse effects. You may not get traffic to your website. You might not get website visitors. So be very careful here. Make sure you check this while it is under development, while the website is under development. But once it's ready for launch, uncheck it and then click on Save Changes. All right. So which is what I'm going to do. I just saved it. So now I've told Google and other search engines, please do not crawl my website. Please do not take the content on my website to show on Google yet, because I haven't got the website design done yet. And once I'm ready to launch, you know what, I'll come back here and check and then save changes. Another important one is the permalinks. I want you to pay attention to the permalinks. By default on WordPress, your URL, your website URL, whatever comes up here, right? microssfit.com / it would have things like, let me zoom in a little bit. You'll see that it's 2022, 28th February, that's today's date. So that becomes like the format in which your website's URL will look like. But we don't want that. Ideally, you'd want to choose this one. Make sure you pick the post name, and that makes it easy both for users to remember, because it's very simple. microssfit.com / whatever the URL is for that page or post, right? If it's an about page, it would say about-us, for example. It becomes easy for people to remember your URL. It also helps with your SEO work. Like I told you, when search engines crawl your website, this URL is search engine friendly as well as user friendly. So please ensure that you choose post name right here. Scroll down, click save changes. And that basically it. Okay, there we have it. You've learned about posts, pages, comments, appearance, media, themes, customization, plugins, how to add users, and also under settings, you've learned about general settings, the reading settings, and permalinks. All right, I hope this was useful. Stay tuned for the next video where I'll be installing the theme and building a really cool website using one of the world's best plugins right now. It's called Elementor. We'll do that in the next video. My name is Manjunath, and I'll see you next time.